And welcome back to the hot stage. We are talking WRC Croatia, the Fallout. We'll be talking our winners and losers. Is Ogier still the GOAT after what was an absolutely sensational rally for him, catching up, putting pressure on what was the two leaders at the time, and then they crumbled, didn't they? Yes, as in Evans and Terry Neuville, the two championship contenders, very much shown up by their elder statesmen. So let's get into who we think are going to be the winners and losers of the Croatian rally. So, I mean, let's be fair. Yeah, I'm not going to hide it. Who do we think is the winner? Well, the guy that won the rally, of course. What an absolute legend this guy is. I mean, Sebastian Ogier, he snatches victory from not even the jaws of defeat. He just did what he normally does. And I think it's one of his better victories of late. I think he did an absolutely fantastic job. So who are the people that didn't really impress us so much? If Ogier was absolutely fantastic, who is the not so fantastic rally drivers? Well, I think for me, one of the more disappointing ones is this guy right here, Katsuta. He has had such a solid year, and I think he's been a bit underrated this year. I mean, yes, in Sweden, he could have won, but he made a mistake. But at least in Sweden, he had the pace. And here, he kind of didn't really have much at all. It's almost like he didn't turn up. And we all know, I know, that he can do much better. So I'm hoping once we get to the more gravel stages, he does a much better job. But also, people are going to start thinking I've got a problem with this guy, but he's a really nice guy backstage, even though I make jokes about him being moody in the interviews. Art Tanak, we said going into the rally he needed a podium, he needed to do something big. He finished fourth, which is not bad, but I think, bear in mind, he's under pressure, he needs big points. I can't help but think I'm a little bit disappointed for Art Tanak, not as much as I was Katsuta, but a little bit disappointed for Mr. Tanak. I mean, yeah, not great at all. Now, as for the two other podium finishes, Elvin Evans and Terry Neuville, I'm not even going to put them winners, or I'm not going to put them losers, but ultimately, both of them, I think, at some stage had the rally to win. It was there for the taking. Alas, it didn't happen, did it? It didn't happen at all for them. They ended up both of them making little mistakes. Something that their elder statesman, the GOAT potentially, Ogier, did not. And let's talk about Ogier. I mean, this is from WRC.com. So he jumped from third to first overall on what was a really dramatic Sunday, claiming a surprise win. That's what at least the WRC states. I don't think it was that much of a surprise. I just think it was the way rally goes. Now, after 3 days, though, of neck-and-neck competition on a spectator-packed asphalt road in Croatia, victory looked really to be certain between either Neuville or even Evans was kind of pushing him. But Neuville in the Hyundai and Evans in the Toyota, as they headed into the second stage of that final day, they were separated by just 2.6 seconds. It's kind of like, I mean, Chris and I were saying that the ERC was exciting going into the last day, and my gosh, it absolutely was. But we got set up for an absolutely barnstormer. But a late pace note meant overnight leader Neuville arrived too fast into a left-hander, slid wide before riding up a bank into a tree. It destroyed his rear aerodynamics package, but more importantly, it cost him 25 seconds. Now, completely unaware of this, Evans misjudged what was, I think, quite a tight right-hander in that very same stage. He spun, and, well, okay, it didn't cost him as much, but 5 seconds less, a total of 20 seconds. And that meant Ogier, who had occupied third place in the opening running, suddenly gained a 9.1 second lead on the 2 stages remaining. Now, unlike his peers, he made no such errors and kept his Toyota teammate at bay as well, celebrating his second Croatia. I was actually surprised it was only his second Croatia triumph, but then again, I think it's fairly new. I think it's fairly new-ish to the calendar, isn't it? But anyway, I digress. It was his 100th podium, so what a milestone. And as you even said, it's been a tough weekend. And his co-driver, Vincent Landas, I've got that wrong. I'm sure Chris is going to correct me on that. But he said, his co-driver said, we knew coming here that our start position would be an issue. But we never gave up, kept the pressure on for the whole weekend. I don't think I've ever had so many moments in one rally, but it's nice to get a win for the team. And it ended up being a Toyota 1-2. So the result extended the Japanese make in the manufacturer's lead overall, but to just 7 points. But all was not lost as Neuville nursed his car into third. And talking of points. Yes, speaking of the points. So this is from Dirtfish, and I'm not really surprised because we've been talking about it. Chris has been very vocal about it as well as me. To nobody's great surprise, though, the World Rally Championship point system was again one of the big talking points of last weekend's Croatian Rally. We shouldn't be talking about the points. We should be talking about what a fantastic rally it was. And to be fair, what an exciting Sunday it was. But 8-time champion Ogier, who won in Croatia, went as far to call the new point system, he said, a pure joke, as he ended up scoring just 1 point more than 4th place finisher on Tanak. Yeah, the guy that won the rally scored just 1 point more than the guy who finished 4th, thanks to the Sunday. While championship rivals Elfyn Evans and Terry Neuville, who did finish 2nd and 3rd, achieved the same number of points despite finishing 2nd and 3rd. Now, how the WRC goes on about dishing the points system has really split the crews, with unpredictability of the title battle and more excitement on the Sunday. That's kind of like an upside on the new system, while confusion is paramount. And I think when the average viewer gets confused, that's really bad. But when the hardcore rally enthusiasts start to get confused and scratching their head, that's really bad. So it's left the WRC key players calling for what is an evolution of the point structure. Now, considering Tanak said, considering where we were during the weekend and where we ended up, of course, really positive, as nothing we really expected. Tanak told Dirtfish on his 4th place result. He said, but the fantastic system really helped us, he added with a sharp dose of sarcasm. Yes, he said there are simple ways to keep the Sunday, the extra points, and for the power stage, and all kinds of things to keep the entertainment going. But the sport should still stay somewhere as well. At the moment, actually, we were thinking Elfyn did one mistake. He had only 1 spin, and in the end, he scores 1 more point than I, who finished 4th. The sport part is missing at the moment. Amen. Now, points leader Neuville benefited the most from the new point system in Croatia, picked up the same number of points as his title rival, despite finishing behind him. What? I know. So the Belgian, he's satisfied. Absolutely he is. He's got those points. But he said nothing's changed for sure. Points-wise, we take the same number of points here this weekend. I think we are both a little bit disappointed and frustrated that we couldn't end up on the highest position on the podium. Definitely the Sunday's more exciting, he said. That's what it was supposed to do. Also for us, it's more exciting, but also more exhausting because you need to give it everything on a Sunday. And he said, everyone's giving it on a Sunday, that's for sure. Giving everything on a Sunday is, as we know, is probably all and well, the article says. But as Neuville added, a winner of a rally in 2024 may not necessarily gain the same level of exaltation as in previous seasons. He said, but on the other hand, you don't feel that happy again when you're on the podium or even on the first step of the podium because you're not as well rewarded as before when you took 25 or even 30 points for the power stage win. He said, I don't know, but it's the rules we have now and we have to fight. And we have to fight with. Elfyn Evans had the most reason, though, to be aggrieved in Croatia. He said, it's the guys behind me that are benefiting, that are maybe not fighting at the sharp end and still collecting huge points. So it's keeping the pack together, and the manufacturers is even worse, he said. We've had 2 results now in the last 2 events, and I think we've gained 7 points over 2 rallies, so it's not right. No, it really isn't. So when probed as to how quickly it can be fine-tuned, Neuville and Tanak do not believe an overhaul is going to happen overnight, and I think it's going to... when speaking to Chris, if you want to see the video where we rant about the new point system, we're suggesting it's going to stay for the year. Why would they change it now? That's imagine that's going to need a massive vote, or let's just say it's gonna be like pushing a really huge train, isn't it? It's going to be difficult. We can't change it during the season, he said, but we're going to learn from it, said Neuville. And anyhow, I think other than the point system, there's a lot of things to improve. Yeah, absolutely there is. Tanak added, I think already now quite a few lessons have been taken, but at the moment we're already coming close to mid-season, so maybe it's really time to review what's been happening so far and how we can compromise with the fun of the show and also with the sport. but not in December. Hopefully in the summer to do all these kind of things a bit more efficiently. But I would say for sure, the final Sunday, like we saw today, all the action, what was going on, it was clearly because of these available points. So there are positives as well. I've always said, you want to make Sunday count. Chris said it too, make it longer. Make Friday kind of like a half day or like just an evening event for that country. Wherever they are, arguably you can potentially get more viewers then, and then have the rally proper. A few stages on that Friday and have the rally proper start on Saturday and have a fairly decent length Sunday finishing, mid-afternoon maybe, starting early morning. That would be a lot more exciting. But there we go. So, I mean, let's take a look. Let me see here. Let's take a look. That's the Dirtfish article. Let's take a look at the Croatia results. Obviously, we had Ogier winning, Elvin Evans in second, Neuville third, Tanak fourth, Kasuta fifth, Mikkelsen sixth, Gregor Monster in seventh, and then we had Grazen in eighth. A really solid job there. Johan Rosel in ninth, and rounding out the top 10 was Sami Pajari. But Gus Greensmith also finishing 11th. Yeah, hopefully he's got over his sickness in the safari after a few weeks. Here's how the championship standings are. Neuville in first, Evans second, 6 points behind, and Adrian Formeau in third. I tell you what, Adrian Formeau is absolutely doing gangbusters at the moment. Yeah, it doesn't look like he's going to win a title. He needs a lot of luck maybe, and big issues for both Elvin and Neuville, and that Ford I don't think is quite up there at the moment. Although it wouldn't surprise me if Adrian did win a rally by the end of the year. But I mean. But I think it's going to be really interesting going into, not quite the second half of the season, but we're kind of mid-season now. So I think it may well be quite interesting to see where we're going. So that's enough about the points. That's enough about the point system, though. Let's not talk about the point system anymore. What I would like to talk about as the last story of the day, as I'm now trying to find here we go, is this guy here, Sesks to the WRC. This is something that Chris predicted in our ERC show, and he texted me going, see, I'm right. Does he have a crystal ball? I need to know. So ERC star Sex, he secures his Rally 1 graduation with M Sport. The European Championship event winner, he will make the World Rally Championship debut with M Sport Ford as part of a 2-round deal supported by a WRC promoter. I mean, this is absolutely fantastic. The deal will see Sesk and co-driver Francis compete in a back-to-back events in Poland on the 27th to the 30th of June and their home round in Latvia on the 18th to the 21st of July. And that's the important one, is going to be the July one. Now, as part of this arrangement, the duo are set to drive a non-hybrid Ford Puma 1's rally car, making their first appearance at the WRC level in Poland to aid their transition to the full Beans hybrid version in Latvia. The FIA passed regulations this year which allows teams to field Rally 1 cars without hybrid units with ballast added to compensate for the weight of the plug-in hybrid system. Now, Sek's graduation to the top-tier World Rally has been made possible thanks to a collaboration between M Sport and the WRC promoter. The 24-year-old is regularly competing in the European Rally Championship, and last season he scored wins in Poland and Latvia. I mean, imagine if you won Latvia. Imagine if he won. I'll be rooting for him. I mean, that'd be amazing. It's going to be it's like ice skating uphill for him, I think. Very difficult up against, the competition he's got, but you never know, do you? I mean, that'd be amazing. Now, on his way to finishing runner-up to champion Hayden Padden in 2022. Now, Sesk won every stage on his way to victory to the Latvia ERC round, and this year he has swapped a Skoda Fabia for a Toyota GRS Rally for the 2024 ERC campaign, and he said, "I'm sincerely grateful as it is a dream come true to join forces with the M Sport World Rally team and the WRC promoter for this remarkable opportunity to advance from Rally 2 to Rally 1 level." I mean, absolutely, I'm so happy for him. I'm so happy Chris was right. I've got a lot to be happy for, I guess. So, I mean, that's Martin Sesk. That's the motorsport.com article. That, you can read yourself. The links are going to be in the description or below. If you made it to the end, please, I'd really appreciate if you gave us a subscribe. That would be absolutely amazing. Just making it to the end or like would be good too. But if you want to be a Rally World Champion, give us a like, give us a subscribe. Or even give us a comment. One of them. 2 of them will be absolutely fantastic. We'll speak to you soon for more rally stuff. See you later.